Hey guys, back again. Vegas Fever Podcast.
Hi.
I'm Jason. That's Paula. We are back. Couple weeks off. It's just
1 week.
well, yeah, technically. So we missed one show, but it's been 2 weeks since we've done one. But it's what you said. Great to be back. Um, Thank you so much for everybody who watches us on YouTube, listens to us on all the other platforms. If you're watching us on YouTube, you do see there at the bottom of your screen that there is a new partnership sponsor friend that we are working with, Monkey Cult Coffee Company.
Mm-hmm.
The great folks there have agreed to work with us.
Yay.
We have this, and we have joined the cult right here. I have this shirt right here. The coffee is delicious. It's smooth. It's amazing. It's rich. It's fantastic. Whether you have it in the morning or the afternoon, we've tried it. They have rum cake. They've got merch. It's just a fantastic opportunity for us to work together and to provide you guys with a great deal off of coffee when you go to monkeycultcoffee.com and you use our code VFP10 at checkout.
Yeah, one of the main reasons why we were so pumped to work with them is because with every purchase of a bag of coffee, they make a donation to pediatric cancer research, and it says all the information on their website. I mean, it's
a great cause to support. And
unfortunately, cancer hits close to home to
just about everybody.
So we were really, really excited, and it sparked our interest. And the coffee was really good.
So be sure to check them out at Coffee Cult Life on Twitter, or Monkey Cult Coffee. I'm going to have to practice that. Monkeycultcoffee.com, like I said before.
We're doing a giveaway.
We are doing a giveaway. One free bag of coffee to a lucky person who retweets. And I'll be sure to keep retweeting that on my Twitter at Vegas Fever Pod. One person has to retweet that tweet and follow at Coffee Cult Life and Vegas Fever Pod. So you follow me and you follow them and you retweet the tweet and you're automatically entered. You have to be in the United States. And you have to follow those rules. And
that's it. You get a free bag of coffee. So please go check them out. Go read. He, on his website, has a whole list of information about cancer and even warning signs and the foundation that he donates to. So if you have a minute, just go check it out.
And we really, really appreciate them for sure, for everything. So that's going to be a lot of fun. There'll be some stuff in the future as well that we will get to. So be on the lookout for potentially more stuff that we give away. Now, since we've last spoken, it's just like, I don't want to say it's been night and day with the Golden Knights. They have been really, really good since the All-Star break. I think they're like the best team or the second best team, one of the top teams since the All-Star break. Now at 94 points, and they are best in the West, best in the Pacific. I think they got 2 points clear on LA, 4 points clear of Dallas for the West. And I mean, 44, 21, and 6 is fantastic, is amazing. You know, what they were doing before the All-Star break was not great, and they sure have straightened themselves out. You may see our cat
he is.
If you're watching on YouTube.
Yes. And you may hear him if you're just listening.
That's right. Because we are trying to use a new space to do our show. We usually do it from our closet, and now we are in our son and daughter's playroom. So trying something new. But the Golden Knights have tried a lot of things new, and they're just kicking ass. Since the trade deadline, they've been able to acquire Barbashev and Bluger and Jonathan Quick. We got to talk about Jonathan Quick here in a little bit.
You said it's
the vengeance tour of Johnny Quick. And if a lot of people are hoping for that LA Vegas matchup in the playoffs, and it could happen.
Well, the Kings have been much better, so
If Jonathan Quick is in net against the Kings for the Golden Knights, he can't lose. He can't lose.
well, he could.
I think it would kill him because he spent so many good years in LA and won a couple of cups, and then the last handful have just been down. They haven't been garbage. They've just been not great.
Okay, well, I specifically remember you making fun of him every
Yeah,
time.
I did. I'm like, this guy? They still have this guy.
Yeah, and then so that's what surprised me, that you were positive about the trade.
I like the trade because of the fire that it lights underneath him.
But then what happens when that fire fades?
Hopefully there's a Stanley Cup at the end of that. And then look, he's basically a rental. The Golden Knights he doesn't have a contract for next year. Now, if they win a cup and let him walk, I'm good with that. But if they don't, they're going to have to figure something out. With him, there is a whole bunch going on in the Golden Knights net right now, and that's something that we're going to get to as well. It's funny that we're started hitting on all these bullet points that I have ready to go. And I mean, it's going to be like, I mean, I just hit one button here and it's just like, bam, look at that. Johnny Quick passes John Van Beesbrook for second all-time in U.S.-born goaltender wins at 375. The all-time leader is Ryan Miller, who played for the disgusting Buffalo Sabres. Sorry, that's how I feel. He had 391. They actually recently retired his number in Buffalo. So he is the all-time leading goaltender, American-born. I had this ready to go too. I think Jonathan Quick is from Connecticut.
Wow.
Millbury.
Really
No, it doesn't. But I had that fun fact for you. It's Mill something, and then Connecticut. That's where he was born. 37 years old. Now, I will say that he has had a lot of issues with injuries. So when you look at these wins, he's been in the league 2 years less than Marc-Andre Fleury.
Okay.
We'll talk about Marc-Andre Fleury soon too, I promise. Okay. He's been in the league 2 years less, and he has a lot less wins, and that's because of injuries.
Right.
It's not just the 2 seasons. I mean, he's played in a lot of playoffs. Fleury has played in a lot of playoffs. Fleury's been hurt. So is Jonathan Quick. So you could see what he's been through. Mm-hmm. Because, look, 375 is a lot, but it's not what he could have had because of that said fact. Yeah. So to do this is impressive. Phil Kessel comes over from Arizona and gets the Iron Man streak earlier in the year. Jonathan Quick gets the goaltender streak. It's mark. It's a great year for things such as that. The Golden Knights are in a position I didn't think that they would be in. In the beginning of the season,
they've definitely. Before the All-Star break, I was kind of down about it.
Yeah.
But I hope that this brings some, like you said, fire and team bonding, and maybe they'll get past the first round of playoffs.
I hope so.
You said there was 11 games left.
11 games. And if the Golden Knights, I saw something today, if they go 7-3-1, I think they break or tie what they did in year 1.
Wow. Okay.
And year 1 was the benchmark for a lot of fans. It's the benchmark for the team.
Everything.
It's a benchmark for the universe. For Knights Nation, it's the benchmark because that was the year they haven't been able to replicate. And they could do it this year. Jack Eichel coming off a hat trick the game before last. Vegas has won 6 of 7 at this point.
When is the next game?
That's a really good question. Probably tomorrow. I mean, they're playing every other day. I have it right here, actually. I had the page open because I was going to look at the standings. The Golden Wife here is going to pull up the schedule while I review the standings. So Golden Knights, 94 points. Kings, 92 points. Oilers, 88 points. That is the top 3 in the West. Top 3.
Tomorrow at 9 p.m. I'm assuming that is Eastern time.
Yes, is it Edmonton?
It is the Calgary
Okay, so
Flames.
they went from British Columbia to Alberta, and they played Vancouver
And then
last night, which they
Saturday
won.
is against the Oilers
Okay,
at 10 p.m.
that's right. So because they're still on the western part of Canada, so it's just like basically being in
Mm-hmm.
California or Vegas for the United States comparison. So they go from they beat Vancouver last night, had a 2-goal lead a couple of times. They were able to pull it out. Um, really good stuff from the Golden Knights lately. That's a given. Now you go to Calgary, which is 79 points. They are in fifth in the Pacific, not having the year that they wanted to have. Definitely a down year for them. And then they go take on Edmonton, which is third in the Pacific, just 6 points behind. Um, top three teams in the Pacific: VGK, LA, Edmonton. Top three teams in the Central: Dallas, Minnesota, and Colorado. So really, really interesting setup over there in the Central, because the Golden Knights could tussle with a couple of teams that they're very familiar with personnel wise: Dallas and Pete DeBoer, Minnesota, Marc Andre Fleury and Ryan Reeves, and Colorado, the defending champs. And the defending champs aren't even in first place; they're technically in third right now. Everything is
Wow.
so three teams separated by 2 points.
Wow.
So
So it's
super, super close,
close.
super close. And don't forget about the two wild card teams, which
Mm-hmm.
would be at this point it would be Winnipeg and Calgary.
Okay.
Would be wild card 1 and 2. If the playoffs started today, the Golden Knights would play Winnipeg, because the top team in the Pacific plays. I want to make sure I get this right. The top team in the Pacific plays the second. The top team in the West plays the second best wild card. So if you get the best mark in the West, you play the last playoff team,
Okay.
because you had that good year, so you get rewarded,
The
quote
would go
unquote.
on the easiest team who barely made it in.
Which would be, I guess, Winnipeg or Calgary. No, I'm sorry. I am completely wrong. I'm sorry. Two wild card teams in the West are Winnipeg and Seattle. I totally miss
Seattle.
Seattle, and I don't want to see them in the playoffs. I feel like that's a bad matchup for the Golden Knights. And there are some people, a lot. I talk with a bunch of Golden Knights fans on Twitter, and LA, Seattle, and Edmonton are teams that they personally, I think it's kind of a collective agreement. That's three teams that Vegas doesn't want to see. It would be
Yeah.
Winnipeg right now, because they are the wild card two. And I think that's a good matchup for Vegas. And there is a potential to see LA.
Which, like you just said earlier, would be
I don't like that. I don't
talk
like
about
it.
pressure for.
Johnny Quick.
I don't like Johnny Quick.
You don't like Johnny Quick?
I mean, no, I like the more proper Jonathan Quick.
Johnny be nimble, Johnny be quick, Johnny stop everything with his goalie stick.
I thought you were gonna say something else.
No, this is a family friendly show sometimes. Look, I say that, just because I say that kids under 18 can't, watch, but it is for them. Okay. So we'll just get that going as the Golden Wife flips us to the next subject that we got here. Yes, crease confusion. I'm going to switch our bottom. Not that bottom. That bottom. Okay, if you're watching us on YouTube, you know what the hell I'm saying. If not, it sounded really weird. Confusion in the crease for the Golden Knights. So right now, last night, it was Jonathan Quick started.
Mm-hmm.
Logan Thompson, for the first time since February 9th, was in uniform.
Yay.
He was the backup. Laurent Brossoit.
Sorry. You
I
can't
don't
see
can't
him.
see because of the words are right there, but we have there's if you look right behind the word Brossoit, you might be able to see
a paw.
a paw. But yeah, so Quick started. LT was the backup. Laurent Brossoit is also practicing. Yuri Patera had a really, really couple of good games for the Golden Knights. He made his first couple of starts. He was really, really good. He got rewarded by being sent down to Henderson. Sometimes that happens because of the.
Well, there's only so many
That's right.
cooks in the kitchen.
There's too many right now.
And if he's sitting there, he should go where he can play.
This is
Isn't
true.
it better to play?
It's very, very true.
He knew it wasn't permanent.
I mean, you got cooks in a sling, you got cooks in a body cast, you got cooks that are okay right now. You got all kinds of cooks for the Golden Knights. Aiden Hill is probably the odd one out in this whole scenario because he's hurt. It's funny. Somebody gets hurt and somebody comes back all the time
It's
for
like
this
a
team.
rotating door.
It's just a revolving door of pain.
That's what I meant.
No, I know. I mean, you're absolutely right. And Aiden Hill, with 11 games left, could be on the outside looking in with Quick, Thompson, and Brissois all presumably healthy by time April 13th or 14th rolls around, because that's when the playoffs start. I can't believe that we're on game 70 out of 82. You know what I mean? Or we just played game 70
I feel like we
of
just
82.
started the season. We were just, we just mentioned it on the podcast not long ago. And heading toward the end of March. I was going to say middle of March, but really we're trending. We're
season 6 for the Golden Knights as well. I can't believe it's going to be 6 years that hockey has been in its rightful place in the desert. So what do the Golden Knights do about this situation? Who should start? Now, Logan Thompson, in the playoffs.
Quick.
I think it should be Logan Thompson. And I say that because Logan Thompson was doing amazing before he got hurt. I think that's an insult
to a veteran like Jonathan Quick.
I think it puts a veteran exactly where he should be, because Jonathan Quick is out to prove everything, but he has had subpar years, like you had many years.
Complete opposite reactions when they started Leonard versus Fleury.
I feel differently about Jonathan Quick than I do about Robin Leonard. No, that I do about Robin Leonard.
But I'm saying they started Leonard when it should have been Fleury, and that outraged you, and now you're not outraged that they're starting.
This was Logan Thompson's net for for half of the year. And he got hurt. That was not his fault. And he was playing outstanding. Let the man finish what he started. Jonathan Quick is an amazing human being to have in the backup role and also in the starters role. So you can't lose.
If that's the case, the only way that if I was coach, I would consider it is if he starts playing the next few games and is playing well. If he's not, then I would start Jonathan Quick.
I mean, he's rusty.
Right.
You're right.
That's why you have to play.
Right. There's plenty of time.
You don't want to play out the gate on the playoffs.
Here's the thing. The Golden Knights are in a really, really good spot, but they're in no margin for error mode, too.
Do you think he's going to do one game Quick, one game Thompson?
I don't think so.
Like, what's his face? DeBoer did?
Yeah. I think that Bruce Cassidy, and I think if you look at Bruce Cassidy historically, I think that most coaches, too, they don't do that. Now,
lucky for us, Pete DeBoer did.
So, like in Game 1 against Colorado the year before last, if Robin Leonard or if Jonathan Quick has a really, really bad first game, he might not see the post again. He might not see the crease again. That happened. Robin Leonard had a stinker Game 1 against Colorado the year before last, and he didn't see the playoffs again for 3 weeks. And that's not an accident.
He was in timeout. Okay.
He should stay in timeout. In fact, he should go somewhere else next year to play in timeout. I will not back down from that. The Golden Knights are good where they're at. They could re-sign a 37-plus-year-old Jonathan Quick and be fine.
I don't agree with you. I don't think Leonard needs to come back. Fine. But there's plenty of people that disagree with us.
Look. If he wants to bring his snakes and his farm back, that is fine for him. Okay. But I think he should go somewhere else. This has zero to do with anything else but the fact that he's been a distraction, he's been hurt, and he hasn't really been good except for right when he came over in the bubble.
But what you have to say...
When he came over and in the bubble, he was fine. After that, he hasn't been good.
The point is he hasn't been good. Nothing else matters.
Not even his snakes?
No, because it has nothing to do with hockey.
I mean, yeah. It's very, very true. Absolutely true there. What else do we have? Yes.
Well, we're transitioning to...
Yes, we are.
UNLV.
But before we do that, we want to talk about
our
friends there at the bottom of the screen if you're watching on YouTube.
Vegas Varsity. Please go check out vegasvarsity.com. Use our code VFP10 at checkout to save an extra 10% off. He has sales right now going on. I just checked the other day. And it is the perfect time. March Madness is still here. It's
mad. It's absolutely mad. We got to talk. We're gonna, if there's time, we'll have to throw in a little bit of bracket talk. If there's time,
No, not really. But
yeah. Paula doesn't want to talk about hers because she had St. Mary's winning the national championship.
I
Anyway,
just pick who I pick. I think it's fun. I don't take it as seriously.
She picked a Catholic school because she's Catholic.
I'm not Catholic.
Okay. She was an original Catholic. Anyway, VegasVarsity.com, at VegasVarsity on Twitter. 10% off with our code VFP10 at checkout.
And please go follow Inside the Rink.
Yes.
They are putting out shows and articles left and right. So please go give them a follow on YouTube or Twitter and go to the website. And
yep. At inside_the_rink on Twitter and insidetherink.com for all that. Also, let's do our Marc-Andre Fleury moment of the show. Marc-Andre Fleury was ready to kick some ass. He was ready to kick some ass last week because Jordan Binnington pissed him off. Apparently, Jordan Binnington decided to hit another one of Marc-Andre Fleury's teammates in the nuts, I guess. So they asked Fleury what happened, and he said, well, this guy hit my teammate in the nuts, so I went after him. And that was all that Marc-Andre Fleury said.
What else is there to say? What do you want to say?
There was a scuffle, brouhaha, if you will, with the Blues and the Wild. And what ended up happening was everybody was fighting. Marc-Andre Fleury left his crease and went all the way down to the other end, I believe. And
I'm pretty sure everyone's seen it.
And in the nicest Marc-Andre Fleury way, said he dropped his stick and he dropped his pads and gloves and he said, let's get it on. Let's fight. I want to fight. He was like the nicest human being. He was like, it'll be good. Let's fight. Let's give him a show. He didn't curse. He didn't say one curse word.
It takes a lot to anger him. He's very even-tempered, so it must have really upset him. And I was glad to have seen that. That's really
It was entertaining. It was entertaining. I mean, I saw the headline on Twitter and I'm like, no way. This didn't happen. It almost happened, but
moving on to UNLV,
where I just wanted to keep all the fun before the balloon gets deflated.
Your prediction for wins? I don't remember. I should have wrote it down. Was it 18?
It was around. Well, so year one, Kevin Kruger got 18.
I'm talking about year two.
I know, but I'm reviewing.
We don't.
We always review. We're going to do a big review, hopefully. Okay. So, and by the way, if you guys like this hat, that was VegasVarsity.com. Okay. There we go. I think I said around 18. I would have been really, really happy with 20. I think if it was less, it would have been a problem. I think if UNLV would have lost against Air Force in the first round, I don't know if Kevin Kruger would have a job, but I think that he saved his job and he exceeded 18 wins. He is technically an improved coach. He has won 37 ball games in the regular season in 2 years. And that is better than his father. That is better than a lot of coaches at UNLV. Jerry Tarkanian, Dave Rice, and there's a couple other coaches only had more wins than Kevin Kruger in the first 2 years. Dave Rice did that with Lon's players.
Yep.
Don't forget that. Okay. People will say that year one was Lon and year two was Dave Rice. That's a lie. Okay. Most of Lon's players were there for 2 years. Dave Rice recruited, but of course he did. But Lon's guys were still there. So I don't know if I count that. Jerry Tarkanian had a really good first 2 years. I think I really want to say that Charlie Spoonhour, which was the coach before Lon, had 2 years. His first 2 years were good. So Kevin's in good company in terms of UNLV coaches historically. And I think he should get more than 3 years. I think Kevin should get 4 or 5.
Well, you and I talked about it the other day. He actually wants to be there.
Yes,
I don't think it's a stepping stone job for him. His family's there. His father coached there. It means a lot more to him. And I think he's going to work the hardest to keep his job and really turn the program around versus other coaches who are just there to have a job. I think he wants to turn the program around.
UNLV is where Kevin wants to be.
Sorry, why did you move that?
Oh, because I'm going to get ready to switch the bottom here.
Okay.
But we're just going to let that run for a little while longer. Kevin is where he wants to be. the state of college basketball is not Kevin's fault. So the state of college basketball is NIL, which is essentially pay for play, and the portal, the transfer portal. So what Kevin has to work with is kids getting offered more money to go play somewhere and kids not being happy with their role. You can see on the bottom of our screen, if you're watching on YouTube, I'll tell you this, 19-13, UNLV ended the year. They had a quarterfinal loss to Boise State, which is not surprising. Boise State is a better team. Boise State beat UNLV 3 times. So that's not surprising. I would have been surprised if they won. And I also would have been watching a game at midnight Eastern in the mountains with my brother-in-law. I already told him that. But UNLV spared him from that. So thank you, UNLV. My next point, which I'm going to kind of talk about, it's sitting right there for me, is that UNLV in a day and a half had three guys in the transfer portal. That's in addition to Harkless and Jordan McCabe leaving as seniors. Everybody who was in school in the COVID year got an extra year. So they were COVID senior. They were fifth years. They were
6 years.
Some of them were. Some of them were. If they took a year of red shirt, some of them are. But Keyshawn Hall, Keshawn Gilbert, and Victor Iwako are gone. They're in the portal. And the one that hurts the most is probably Keshawn Gilbert. He had a really good year. He's been a bright spot, somebody that Kevin and staff, hopefully Kevin keeps his staff because he had to hire a whole new staff after year one that people forget about. Some people don't, but some people do. If he can keep his staff, he's going to be in good shape. I think that Keshawn Gilbert was going to be the brightest piece, and that one hurts. Victor Iwako, was a bigger guy, didn't have the numbers I think he wanted. I think maybe that's been in his mind to kind of leave. That's just kind of the vibe that I get. Keyshawn, big guard Hall, is exactly that. Just a big boy, a guard. I mean, he can really stretch the floor. He's a guy that could help UNLV in the backcourt. If you're small, he can really help you out by, providing a little bit of height. He didn't get the opportunity he wanted majority of the year. A lot of the year he was on the bench. He got a chance when a couple of guys got hurt. You kind of got the sense from majority of the year that he was thinking about it too. So I guess, look, if you want to think about a couple of players in this list that I'm telling you that are not surprising, I guess it would be, Hall and Iwako, which is how that's spelled, which is how that's pronounced. I did get a chance so I reached out to a couple of the players, and one of them, which was Isaiah Cottrell, the transfer from West Virginia, after the 21-22 season, he did not play last year. He had a foot injury that hampered him majority of the year. I reached out to him and I asked if he was going to be back, and he said he would be. So that's a nice piece for UNLV to retain. I really hope that we're not seeing 8 new guys, because I don't think that helps. You can go in the transfer portal and build a brand new team, but I don't think that that's going to help you in March. You need a variety. What you need in March, what you need in the tournament is
a team that knows each other and plays well together.
Experience.
Yeah.
Guard play. And a team to gel at the correct time. And those things are really, really big in the tournament. So we'll see for UNLV. There's going to be some news, I'm sure, in the next few weeks. I think Kevin and staff is safe unless somebody from the staff moves. And I think that's what's best for UNLV and for Las Vegas at this time.
Another more Rebel news. The Lady Rebels, their season ended.
It did.
They lost to Michigan.
They did.
But I think we should still be very, very proud and congratulate the team and the coach.
What Lindy LaRocque did is nothing short of amazing. Mm-hmm. Very, very, very special. The next 2 UNLV teams that we're going to talk about are what has really been a shining light for the program,
Yeah.
for UNLV and for Las Vegas. And more people should have really taken that in, because UNLV, the Lady Rebels, won 22 games in a row.
That's amazing.
Look back at any team that's won 22 games in a row. It's not easy to do. It's not easy to do. What hurt UNLV, and we talked about this earlier, was the fact that they didn't play anybody really inside the top 75 in women's college basketball.
Then as soon as they played somebody
Michigan.
better.
Yeah. It didn't go well. And that game was a struggle. And 71-59 was the score in Baton Rouge, first round of the NCAA tournament. I think that there were a couple people really, like nationally, that were really into UNLV making it to the next game. It was a struggle. It was tough. But those ladies and that staff were incredible this year. They really took our minds off of what wasn't going right at UNLV and showing us what was and what could happen if you catch fire in a bottle, you know what I mean? Or lightning in a bottle, I should say. Sorry, when things happen. Lindy LaRocque's second year, 2 years in the NCAA tournament, 2 years, a 22-game win streak, 2 Mountain West tournament titles, 2 Mountain West regular season titles. I might have been wrong on that, but I know that they got 2 of something.
That's really good.
They've won, I think they went back-to-back Mountain West tournament titles. They might only have the 1 regular season. But either way, a fantastic year.
I'm excited to see what they do next
There is
season.
nothing but great stuff on the horizon. The only thing that scares me is that if Lindy gets a better offer to go somewhere else, because
deserved though.
True, and she should leave, and she should leave.
You can't even be mad at it, but
I think she went to Stanford. I know I'm pretty sure she went to, someone correct me. I'm pretty sure she went to Durango High School in Vegas. I'm pretty sure. And then she went to Stanford, either play or staff or both. I'm worried about a bigger job. And that's what I think that UNLV should be worried about, because this university is not going to pay their women's basketball coach more than what they're paying them. Not much more.
No,
so
they're not.
She's got to want to stay.
Unfortunately.
Yes. Extremely.
It's
She's got
ridiculous.
It is. It's ridiculous at certain areas of the men's level. But look at what this woman did. Look at what she did. You should give her a raise voluntarily.
And she got the Cox Pavilion to sell out
twice.
So
and it hadn't happened ever. And that building is 22 years old, which matches the winning streak that UNLV had this year. Moving on to another bright spot this year. Was the UNLV hockey team. They were able to pull off 1 victory in the ACHA tournament, which is great. But they were taken down by the Liberty Flames. And we've seen a lot of Liberty in UNLV this year. So in November, Liberty came to Vegas and beat UNLV twice, but then UNLV came to Virginia and beat them twice. So this was a rubber match, we'll call it. And UNLV was down 2-0. They were able to get a goal later in the third period. They pulled the goalie. They weren't able to tie it, unfortunately, and Liberty added an empty net goal, I would imagine. So 3-1 was the final. Liberty moves on. And it's just like the NCAA tournament. You lose, you're done. And UNLV, another fantastic year for the Rebels.
Even better and they had a great season the following year, and it was even better, right, this year.
Top 5 most of the year. And
I know that's really, they're trying to make it to the top tier, right?
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
I don't remember what it was called.
I know what they're in now is like the Division 1 of the ACHA.
Okay.
But what they're trying to get to is, I forget the term for it, but the top level of collegiate ice hockey. Up there with the North Dakotas and the Minnesotas and stuff like that. And in order to do that,
you have to be good and raise money, because the college, I don't believe
they're a club sport. They get nothing. Well, they get 25% or 75%. I don't know. We've spoken to Nick Rabone and
we really
Coach
should have him
Coach
back
Vigneri
on.
Greener. So definitely, for sure. We've talked to them, and I don't know if it's 75%
or 25%.
They don't get what they should get. So this other percentage needs to be raised by you guys. So that's what you need to do. You need to go on, UNLVRebelHockey.com or follow them, follow their Rebel Hockey Twitter, and donate.
Or you could
find
just
out ways
like
to
and
help.
follow to support.
Very, very true. You can absolutely do that as well. Well, I think that's it.
Mm-hmm.
Let's do this here. Let's see, we got on the bottom. Please subscribe
Yep.
after you watch or listen to our show. We're on Apple, Spotify, Amazon, most platforms where your podcasts are distributed. The Golden Wife is over here, and at the Golden Wife on Twitter, at Vegas Fever Pod. Show's running too long. Next show, I think what I'd like to do is review our bracket. Mine is bad. Hers is in flames.
No,
It's
he's
terrible.
just jealous
It's absolutely
that
terrible.
I have fun with it, and he takes it way too seriously. Oops.
Yeah, let's do that. So, for Paula and for myself, thank you so much for checking us out. Everybody, have a good day. We'll talk to you next time.